The Vergas Show is brought to you by Spanky Stone Hearth, casual fine dining on beautiful Rose Lake. Vergas State Bank, your locally owned community full-service bank. Vergas Event Center for gatherings large or small, including weddings. Vergas Liquor Store, where all the profits profit Vergas.
Make the right call. Call Hanson's, the most trusted name in plumbing and heating.
Hi, welcome to the Vergas Show. I'm Sherry Hanson. Thank you for joining me today. I'm with Chuck Hillstrom and Joe Bruin. Thank you, guys. We are up at the Vergas City Cemetery. And am I correct, Chuck? We call it the Vergas City Cemetery, but explain the actual dynamics of it.
Actually, the history of the cemetery goes back to 1910 when John and Anna Krause deeded it to the Modern Woodmen of America group. And then in 1941, the Woodman Group deeded it to the village of Vergas. Okay. And then in 1959, the village of Vergas deeded it to the Vergas Cemetery Association, which is the body that operates it right now. And the association, we have 10 board members. Okay. And it's an all-volunteer position.
Yeah. You know, the association, when you have an association, something like that, and I think that's what makes the city of Vergas so unique. There are so many things and so many committees and so many people that are working to make it beautiful. And when I say that with all sincerity. You guys keep this Vergas City Cemetery just absolutely gorgeous. And there's been some updates to it, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about the timeline here and stuff. But Joe and Chuck, you're both on the committee. Tell me a little bit how you first got involved with the Vergas City Cemetery.
I first started here, my mom was on the board, and when they started the Avenue of Flags, that she always told me to come up and help put the flags up, so that's how I got into it.
Yeah, she told you to come up and help, right? But
yes.
But then the passion of it, of just helping to keep it going.
Right,
yeah. Yeah, that's there. And how about you, Chuck?
Well, I'm pretty much in the same situation. It was passed on from my parents, and now we're on the board, and we're ready to pass it down to some younger generations.
Well, this sounds like it's maybe an appeal out there for any of you who want to get onto that board. But no, I just really commend you guys, because I know you drive by here on Memorial Day, the 4th of July, and the flags are up, and it's just, there's just something about it that it just brings a little tug in your heart, because you just know that not only are your loved ones here and buried here, but you guys are helping to remember. And so, Chuck, tell me a little bit more. I know that there's some memorial up here. Give me a little bit more of that timeline that you've got there.
Well, just some more recent highlights. In 1990, there was a new water system put in up here, and a new survey was done, and a garage building was completed that year. And the Avenue of Flags actually pretty much originated in the early 1990s just from an idea. Then there was a committee put together of the three ladies on the board: June Huffman, Jane Bruin, Helen Hillstrom, and Jeanette Bruin. Okay. Anyway, they got together and put it all together, and now they were hoping in 1994, for instance, so you can see how long it took them, 2-3 years to get this thing rolling. They were hoping for 17 flags on that Memorial Day in 1994. And now we're up to 79-ish flags.
79 flags. So are those the large flags, or 79 flags of people that you put next to their gravestones?
No, these are the large flags that we put along the driveway coming in. The small flags that we put out for Memorial Day by the grave markers, it's in about 100. 99 or 100. It's right in that area.
Oh. Tell me a little bit about that, Joe.
What, putting the flags up?
Yeah.
Not much to it. You have a list and just go around and put them on all the veterans, and
sure.
The Ladies' Aid girls, they get it too, so.
Do you remember when, because I recognized your mom's name as one of them that was instrumental in the Avenue of Flags. Do you remember that time and when she was talking about it and raising money for it?
Well, I was up in Moorhead at the time, but on the weekends I'd come down, and that's when she'd always get me to help put up flags and stuff.
Right. And so putting those flags up, is just pretty incredible. So There's some memorials up here too, as far as for the veterans that have been built. I know one of them was tipped over, and then you guys have done some work and just some very recent work with the new flags. Tell me a little bit about that, Chuck.
Well, in the 1966 or 1996-97, the board decided to put up a monument to go along with the large flags situation. And anyway, that got put up, and a large stone and a monument with some scribing on it, and brickwork and pavers and that type of thing. And anyway, just to highlight the large monument, it got tipped over in 2003. But it got reset, and it's in good shape, and it's looking nice.
You know, from a family standpoint, at that large monument, you know, there we have some pretty precious pictures of a veteran, Rodney Hanson, you know, by it. I know we used it at his memorial for his cemetery burial and everything, and you know, there you see that picture, and with that monument there, it just really stands to show how important it is to put those monuments up.
Yes, I think it really means a lot to particularly family members.
Right.
And we are also very fortunate. We usually get lots of volunteer help to put the flags up and to take them down, and that is very much appreciated, because that's what makes it happen.
Well, it does take those volunteers to make it happen. And how many times a year do you put the flags up, Joe?
Normally twice, the 4th of July and Memorial
Day.
Yep.
Right. And I know that the community club's advocating we want them up one more time, huh?
Yes, I heard that.
Oh, you heard that, right?
Yep.
Well, and the reason the community club wants to, put them up, I'm going to mention that here in just a couple of minutes. But when you talk about extra land being deeded, when did that happen, Chuck?
That was in 2006. Leo and John Ratz, they deeded the front area and the back area more land, so there's room for expansion, and it really helped complete the cemetery complex up here. Okay.
Well, and as the association, I do have a question. If a family member has lost someone and they're looking to bury them, how do they go about, does the funeral home get a hold of you? Does it go through that, or do they get a hold of you guys directly, or can they buy a lot ahead of time?
Well, yes, many people buy lots ahead of time, and to start that ball rolling, mainly just contact the board member, and then we can talk about it more and see what's available and what they're looking for.
I'm sure you have it all mapped out, right?
Yes, there's maps.
And that's good.
Just as a matter of interest, what we call the old cemetery part, or the original part, there's about 450 burials there.
Okay. And so in this area right now, and so there's that many, and then how much is there room for?
Well, with the new area that Leo and John provided, there's a lot of space.
A lot of space. Okay. And so what we have going on for Looney Days coming up on August 12th is the Cemetery Association has granted us the permission to come on site, and we are going to do a Voices of the Past cemetery tour. And I think what prompted this is the fact that there is nothing that happens in a community or a city that doesn't happen by the forefathers that started something. You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Right. And then when you walk around this cemetery up here, not only is it beautiful, but it just, the names on the gravestones just, they come to mind. They come to mind from the different stories. They come to mind from the centennial books that you've looked at. And we need to remember those people. So we're taking that opportunity on Friday, August 12th, from 2 to 3 p.m. And we are going to be stopping at a few of those gravestones, and we're going to tell that family history. But what we need is for you to submit that story. If your family is buried up here, and if they have some history here from the community of Vergas, whether it be through Looney Days, whether it be from 1910 or from 1921, we want to hear about them. And we'll have an orator that will take us through the cemetery, and they will stop at at that gravestone. We'll pay respect to that, but then we'll also hear that story of that person. And so be sure and get your story into me. You can get it to me at the Vergas State Bank, and I'd like those by the end of July so that we can put them all together and get them to our orator so he's ready. So, well, Chuck and Joe, I really appreciate you guys meeting me out here. I really appreciate all the work that you do here. And any final words?
Nope, just it's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and so thank you so much for your volunteer work. And like you said, you're always looking for help. You have a good day in Vergas.